16 new items that are banned on cruise ships. Cruise lines confiscate more items than most passengers realize. From power strips to pool toys, the things you think are harmless could get your bag flagged before you even board. Today, we're exposing 16 banned items cruise lines don't want you to pack in 2025. Some will surprise you, others could cost you money or even get you fined. Let's dive straight in. Number 1. Surge protectors. Picture this. You finally step into your cabin. The ocean view is stunning. Your bags are waiting at the door and you're ready to settle in. You pull out your phone, your laptop, your camera, and quickly realize something every cruiser does. Your room has just two outlets. One is hidden behind the TV, the other jammed under a lamp. So you reach into your bag for your trusty surge protector, but it's not there. Security already pulled it. In 2025, surge protectors and most multi-outlet strips are banned on nearly every cruise line. Why? Fires at sea. A single spark from an overloaded strip in a steel cabin could put the entire ship at risk. It sounds dramatic, but cruise lines don't take chances. One passenger said their brand new strip was confiscated at embarkation. They didn't get it back until the very last day, and they spent a week juggling chargers, swapping devices in and out, and fighting with their cabin mate for the only free outlet. The smarter move? Pack a USB charging hub. These are allowed, safe, and designed for multiple devices. They keep you connected without drawing extra power or causing alarms at security. Surge protectors are out, smarter charging is in. And while losing a power strip is frustrating, the next banned item could actually get you pulled aside for questioning. Number 2, balloons and decorations. It sounds innocent. Balloons for a birthday at sea or streamers to surprise your travel partner. But in 2025, most cruise lines will ban balloons, confetti, and other disposable decorations. The reason? Safety and the environment. Balloons can interfere with ship ventilation systems if released indoors, and if they go overboard, they become a serious hazard to marine life. Streamers and confetti create fire risks and clog drainage systems. For cruise lines, it's simply not worth the cleanup or the danger. One family shared how they packed a bag of helium balloons for their child's birthday. Security caught them at embarkation and explained the rule. Not only were the balloons taken, but the family was told they could face fines if they tried to sneak in more. Their surprise ended up being more stress than celebration. If you want to decorate, cruise lines usually allow door magnets, banners that don't leave residue, or pre-approved party packages you can order ahead of time. These are safe, easy, and won't land you in trouble with security. That way, your celebration stays festive without breaking the rules. Balloons might sound like harmless fun, but at sea, even decorations can cause problems. And the next banned item is something even more surprising. Number 3, irons and steamers. After a long flight, you open your suitcase and realize the inevitable. Your clothes are wrinkled. For formal night, you want to look sharp, so you pack a travel iron or handheld steamer. Logical, right? Except in 2025, both are banned items. Why? Fire risk. Cruise lines know that even a small heating element left unattended could spark in a cabin. And at sea, fire is the single most dangerous emergency. One couple found this out the hard way. They had a brand new steamer in their checked bag. At embarkation, security flagged it, tagged it, and held it until the last day of the cruise. The result? Their dinner outfits looked like they had been slept in all week. But there are workarounds. Many cruisers swear by wrinkle release sprays, which actually work surprisingly well. Some ships even have self-service laundromats with approved irons, or offer pressing services through the laundry team. The takeaway? Your suitcase steamer isn't worth the risk, or the hassle of losing it at the terminal. And while wrinkled clothes are an inconvenience, the next banned item could actually hit you with a fine if you try to sneak it on board. Number 4, candles and incense. It sounds harmless, right? A little scented candle for ambience or incense sticks to freshen up your cabin. But in 2025, both are firmly on the banned list. Here's why open flames at sea are the single biggest hazard. A tiny candle flame might not look dangerous, but in a steel-walled cabin filled with fabric, it's a recipe for disaster. Cruise lines know this and they don't take chances. One passenger admitted online that they tried sneaking a vanilla-scented candle in their luggage for a romantic anniversary night. Security caught it immediately. Not only was it confiscated, but they were issued a written warning. Imagine starting your dream vacation with security paperwork instead of champagne. If you want to set the mood safely, pack battery-powered tea lights or a portable essential oil diffuser. These mimic the cozy glow or scent without the risk of fire alarms or angry security officers. Candles at home, cozy. Candles at sea, contraband. Candles might set the mood, but they can also set off alarms. And if you thought open flames were banned, wait until you hear what happens with open bottles. Number Number 5, hard liquor and beer. Here's a shocker for first-time cruisers. You can't bring your own cases of beer or bottles of liquor on board. Period. Why? Simple. Bars are one of the biggest money makers for cruise lines. Most allow you to bring 1 or 2 bottles of wine or champagne, but anything beyond that is confiscated. If you try to sneak in hard liquor or a case of beer, you'll lose it. Trust me, passengers try. People have poured vodka into water bottles, sealed rum inside shampoo containers, even lined luggage with booze, almost every time security finds it. The X-ray scanners are too good, and if they catch you, that liquor is gone. One cruiser shared how they tried hiding a bottle of whiskey inside a sports drink container. Not only was it pulled at security, but they weren't refunded. They lost both the drink and the bottle, a $60 mistake. If you want to drink on board, play it smart. Budget for a drink package or stick to the small wine allowance. Either way, you'll save yourself embarrassment at the terminal. And while losing a bottle of rum stings, the next banned item could cost you even more, because this one leads straight to fines. Number 6, drones. Picture this. You're standing on the pier, your ship towering above you, the ocean sparkling in the background. It's the perfect moment for drone footage. Except there's a problem. In 2025, drones are banned on most cruise lines. Why? Safety drones can interfere with navigation equipment or pose a risk to passengers on crowded decks. And at sea, there's no margin for error. Some cruise lines allow you to pack a drone, but restrict its use to certain ports with permission. Others won't even let it past security. Try to launch one from your balcony and you could face fines or even removal from the ship. One unlucky traveler shared how their drone was confiscated at embarkation. They thought it would be returned later, but it wasn't. They got it back on the final morning of disembarkation. A week of missed footage and plenty of regret. If you're after vacation shots, stick with a GoPro, phone, or a DSLR. Leave the drone at home unless you've confirmed in writing that your cruise line allows it. Drones might capture amazing footage, but the rules are clear that they're grounded. And if you thought drones were risky, the next banned item is something so ordinary most cruisers don't realize it's a problem until security pulls it from their bag. Number 7, clothes irons disguised as hair tools. This one trips up more passengers than you think. Flat irons and curling irons are perfectly fine, but here's the twist. Any travel tool that doubles as a clothing iron is banned. Security staff are trained to spot the difference. They've seen it all before. Travelers trying to disguise a mini travel iron inside a case labeled hair straightener, hoping it slips through. It rarely works. One passenger on a Caribbean sailing said they packed what looked like a hair tool, but inside was really a tiny travel iron. Security flagged it instantly. Not only was it confiscated, but they were reminded that using a heating element like that could create a fire hazard mid-cruise. Their clever hack ended with wrinkled clothes and a warning. The safer choice? Stick to approved hair tools only. If you're worried about clothes, bring wrinkle release spray or budget for pressing services on board. Some ships even have laundromats with approved irons you can use. Don't gamble with disguises. Security has seen it all and you won't win. Hair tools might pass inspection, but sneaky disguises won't. And if you think that's strict, the next banned item could actually make your entire bag disappear until the end of the cruise. Number 8, hoverboards and electric scooters. Hoverboards and scooters might be fun on land, but on a cruise ship? They're completely banned in 2025. The reason is simple: lithium-ion batteries. Hoverboards especially have a history of overheating and even catching fire. At sea, that's an emergency waiting to happen. One family thought it would be fun for their teenager to bring a hoverboard along for port days. Security pulled it immediately. Not only was it confiscated, but the family had to pay extra fees to ship it back home. Talk about starting your trip with stress. Cruise lines do make exceptions for mobility devices, but only approved ones. If you or someone you're traveling with needs a scooter, it must meet size and battery standards. Recreational versions, though? Forget it. So while hoverboards may seem like a cool way to explore, they won't make it past the terminal. Hoverboards are out, and so are most electric toys. But the next banned item isn't about fun. It's about something you might actually rely on for your health. Number 9, certain over-the-counter medicines. This one surprises a lot of cruisers. Over-the-counter medicines that are perfectly fine at home may actually be illegal once you're at sea. Take pseudoephedrine, for example, common in many cold and allergy medications. In countries like Japan and parts of the Middle East, it's considered a controlled substance. Cruise lines confiscate these items at embarkation to avoid legal trouble when the ship docks. One cruiser packed a bottle of their usual cold medicine only to find it flagged at security. They were confused until staff explained that carrying it ashore in some ports could have led to fines or even arrest. The fix? Always travel with prescriptions in their original bottles, clearly labeled with your name. For over-the-counter meds, research your itinerary. Cruise lines often provide lists of restricted substances for certain ports. The last thing you want is to be pulled aside by customs because of a harmless-looking bottle of pills. Medicine is meant to keep you healthy, but the wrong kind can ruin your trip. And speaking of staying healthy, the next banned item might surprise you because it's something you'd normally pack for the gym. Number 10, weightlifting equipment. Cruise ships already have gyms, but that hasn't stopped some passengers from trying to pack their own dumbbells or kettlebells. In 2025, that's a firm no-go. Why? Safety and practicality. Imagine rough seas, a 20-pound weight rolling across your cabin floor. Not only could it injure you, but it could also smash furniture, damage walls, or even block a hallway in an emergency. One passenger shared how they brought 2 small dumbbells in their checked bag, thinking they'd sneak in a quick cabin workout. Security flagged the bag, pulled them aside, and explained the risk. The weights were taken and locked away until the cruise ended. That passenger spent the week in the ship's fitness center instead. If you're serious about staying active at sea, the solution is simple. Every modern cruise ship has a gym stocked with free weights, machines, and sometimes even classes. For something portable, resistance bands are a great alternative. Lightweight, versatile, and allowed in your luggage. Your cabin might feel like a private gym, but when it comes to heavyweights, it's just not safe. Weights might be great for the gym, but they're a dangerous idea in a cabin. And if you think that's unusual, the next banned item is something you'd normally take straight to the pool deck. Number 11, pool inflatables. Nothing says vacation like a giant inflatable flamingo. But in 2025, oversized inflatables are banned on most cruise ships. The reason is space and safety. Cruise ship pools are already small and crowded. Add in a 6-foot unicorn float, and suddenly no one else can swim. Crew members also worry about accidents. A large float could block lifeguards' views or tip over and trap smaller swimmers. One family brought a huge inflatable raft for their kids, thinking it would be harmless fun. Security pulled it during luggage screening and told them it couldn't come on board. The kids were devastated, and the float ended up sitting in storage until the last day. Don't worry though, many ships already provide pool noodles, life vests, and sometimes smaller floats designed for kids. And of course, nothing beats simply swimming. Save the giant inflatables for the backyard pool. At sea, they're more trouble than they're worth. Inflatables might sound fun, but they take up too much space. And speaking of taking up space, the next banned item is something that could actually block the ship's hallways. Number 12, extension cords. At home, an extension cord is no big deal, but on a cruise ship, they're a banned item. Why? They're considered both a fire hazard and a tripping hazard. Cruise cabins are small and cords can overheat under heavy use. Worse, passengers sometimes run them across the floor or into hallways, creating a serious safety issue. One passenger said they packed an extension cord for their CPAP machine. Security confiscated it at check-in. They were frustrated until crew provided them with an approved power option directly from the ship. Cruise lines often make exceptions for medical needs, but you have to request it in advance. If you need extra outlets, bring a USB charging hub or a small non-surge power cube. These are safe and widely allowed. Your cabin might feel like home, but your living room rules don't apply at sea. Extension cords might be handy at home, but they're too risky at sea. And if you thought power cords were a problem, wait until you hear about the next banned item, because this one can get you into legal trouble ashore. Number 13, walkie-talkies with high frequencies. Walkie-talkies can be a lifesaver on a cruise ship. Families with kids often use them to stay in touch without relying on Wi-Fi. Basic models are usually fine. But in 2025, cruise lines are cracking down on high-frequency or long-range models. Why? They can interfere with the ship's communication systems. Crew rely on radios for safety and emergency response, and the wrong frequency could disrupt a vital channel. At sea, even minor interference is a major risk. One cruiser thought they were being clever by bringing professional-grade radios for their group. Security flagged the devices at embarkation, explained the safety risk, and confiscated them until the end of the cruise. Instead of quick, free communication, the group ended up downloading the ship's app and paying for messaging. If you want to use walkie-talkies, stick to family-friendly models with short ranges. Or better yet, check if your cruise line offers a messaging feature through their app. It's not always free, but it's guaranteed safe and allowed. Walkie-talkies might sound harmless, but the wrong kind can interfere with safety. And if that's not surprising enough, the next banned item is something many passengers don't realize can get them in serious trouble at port. Number 14, certain foods. Bringing snacks on board is usually fine, but fresh food is a different story. In 2025, cruise lines are strict about banning fruit, homemade meals, or meats. The reason isn't the ship, it's the ports. Agricultural laws in many countries forbid outside food because of pests and diseases. Customs officers don't take chances, and the fines, they can be steep. One family learned this the hard way. They carried a bag of apples from the ship when they docked in Mexico. Customs stopped them, confiscated the fruit, and issued a fine on the spot. Their healthy snack cost them over $100. If you need snacks, bring prepackaged, sealed items like granola bars or chips, but never ever try to take fresh food ashore. That innocent apple could end up being the most expensive one you've ever eaten. Food might feel harmless, but it can cost you money and fines. And the final banned item is the one most likely to surprise passengers, because it feels like something everyone carries these days. Number 15, power banks over the limit. Power banks are a modern travel essential, but on cruise ships, not all of them are allowed. Most cruise lines now enforce strict limits. Portable chargers must be under 100 watt-hours. Anything bigger is banned in 2025. The reason, again, comes down to fire. The larger the lithium-ion battery, the greater the risk of overheating or catching fire. One passenger packed a massive laptop power bank. Great for road trips, but not for ships. Security flagged it during luggage screening, explained the rule, and forced them to leave it behind. For a week, they scrambled to keep their devices charged with just a phone-sized backup. The smart move? Stick with standard phone power banks. They're compact, reliable, and well within the safety rules. If you're unsure, check the label before you pack. Number 16. Rice cookers and small kitchen appliances. Here's what you might not expect. Some passengers actually pack rice cookers, kettles, or even small coffee makers, thinking they'll save money or enjoy home comforts in their cabin. But in 2025, all of these are banned. The reason? Heating elements. Just like irons and steamers, appliances with exposed heat sources are a major fire risk. Cruise ships are designed with strict fire safety rules, and even a small rice cooker left unattended could trigger alarms. One cruiser admitted they packed a mini coffee pot, thinking they'd brew their own morning cup. Security pulled it from their luggage right away. Not only did they lose the appliance for the entire trip, but they had to trek to the buffet every morning just for coffee. The truth is, you don't need these appliances on board. Every cruise line offers free hot water, coffee stations, and plenty of food options included in your fare. If you're particular about your drinks, pack instant coffee packets or tea bags, but leave the cooker at home. It might sound convenient, but in reality, you're risking confiscation and frustration. Small appliances might feel like a comfort from home, but on a ship, they're nothing but a fire hazard. And that just proves the point. When you cruise in 2025, it pays to know the rules before you pack. Cruise lines are stricter than ever, and now you know the banned items they hope you don't accidentally bring. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe, because the next video is packed with even more insider cruise tips to save you money and stress on your trip. And tell me in the comments, what's the strangest thing you've seen someone try to bring on a cruise? The most surprising answers might just show up in a future video. Because remember, when you cruise smarter, you cruise better.